We have some big news to discuss, and that is President Donald Trump is floating the possibility of U.S. troops going back into Afghanistan for one very specific job. There's one objective President Donald Trump wants to see get done in Afghanistan. Is this actually going to happen? Should this happen? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? We're going to get into all of that. I'll give you my honest opinion. And at the end of the day, you guys have to come up with your own opinions as well. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm just here to give you the information. I'll give you my thoughts, and then you guys can take that as much and as far as you want and run with it from there. Before we get into it, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys absolutely nothing at all, and is a huge, huge, huge boost to the channel. Comment with your thoughts below. Do you think the U.S. should be going back to Afghanistan for this reason we're going to get into, or should we not get involved whatsoever? Leave Afghanistan to be whatever it's going to be. Do not get involved. Let me know in the comments below. Hit the notifications bell right by the video. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a single thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. DMs are open. If there's information you know about a story I'm talking about, please reach out. The good people of Venezuela have been reaching out a bunch. I really appreciate it. Helps to make the videos much, much better. More information, so you can reach out to me there about whatever you want. Now, let's get into it. So as we know, after 2 decades of a brutal war in Afghanistan following the events of September 11th, the U.S. packed up and left in a hurried and chaotic evacuation. We lost 13 brave service members during the attack at Abbey Gate. There is no way to sum it up other than Afghanistan clearly did not go the way people expected it to. Now, I'm not going to sit here and debate the politics of it. I'm not going to sit here and debate here's how we should have fought the war. Here's what we did wrong. Here's what we did right. Here's what we could have done differently. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. We all know that. The reality is we were there for 20 years. We left. It is now back under control of the Taliban. These are the facts of the matter. Again, I'm not going to get political in this video. I'm not going to tell you what could have been or should have been done differently. Probably a million things could have been done differently in Afghanistan, but they weren't. So we're here now in 2025. I'm filming this on September 18th, 2025. One of the big reasons the evacuation turned out the way it did is because the U.S. left Bagram Air Force Base, and we had to go to HKIA to evacuate. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I was never in the military. I know people try to claim that I've made up stuff. Not true. I was never in the military. I've been crystal clear about that since day one. I find the military fascinating. I love military history, but I was never in the military. So when I say we went to HKIA, I mean the United States military on the ground took HKIA, used it as the main evacuation point to get not just all the U.S. troops out, but also our allied Afghan partners who fought side by side and worked with us. That was super controversial. Bagram was fortified. It was safe. It would have been way easier to get more planes in the air. The evacuation probably would have gone better. At the same time, there's not a military in the world that could have done that evacuation like we did. That's also just a fact. Not the Chinese, not the Russians. Nobody could have saved as many lives in that situation as we did. That's just the fact of the matter. Well, now President Donald Trump is floating the possibility of going back in or figuring out a way to get Bagram Air Force Base back under United States control. Now, why is he doing that? Why do we need the base back under our control? Well, let's watch a video, and I'm going to throw this up on the screen. Let's watch Trump talk about it right here.
They just went through the Afghanistan total disaster for no reason whatsoever. We're going to leave Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. We're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, that one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. So a lot of things are happening.
So we'll watch it right here again.
We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. And We were going to keep Bagram, the big air base, that one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons.
So right there, I'll pull this off the screen for the moment. Right there, President Donald Trump is saying we want Bagram Air Force Base back because that is where China makes its nukes. That's where China builds its nuclear weapons, an hour away. So we can get spy planes in the air. We can get planes with all different kinds of sensors, cameras, things of that nature. And we will be right next door to where China makes their nukes. And we can spy on them. And we can figure out how many they're building. And we can figure out the I guess different kinds they're building. Maybe I'm not an expert on nukes. I'm not an expert on the different kinds of delivery systems, bombs, the destruction power of them. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be one. But his argument is, listen, the Chinese have their nuke sites right there. If we have Bagram, we can get planes in the air and spy on them. So I'll put this up on the screen now. He was asked about it. He had more comments. Let's watch these.
In your remarks at the press conference, something about Bagram and bringing it back to the U.S.
I'd like to get Bagram back.
Do you know how you plan to do that, sir?
They need a lot from us, and I'd like to get it back. It should have never been given. Bagram should have never been given the airbase. There was gross incompetence to give that up. You know, it's one of the most powerful bases in the world in terms of runway strength and length. The strength and length, you could land anything on there. You could land a planet on top of it. Can you imagine they gave it up for nothing? Just, oh, let's leave. And it's an hour away from where they make their missiles, China.
So there again, he is saying the reason they need it, the reason the United States need it, is because of its runway capabilities, and we can get planes in the air to spy on China. Now, is this a bad idea? The reality is the Taliban's probably not going to give it back to us. We could pay them a bunch of money, and then who knows what they use that money for. That could have a ton of unintended consequences. Or we could go in and take it by force with U.S. troops. And if we do that, we're going to have to drop a bunch of U.S. troops back into Afghanistan. You'd be looking at the 75th Rangers. For those of you who don't know, the Rangers, their bread and butter is airfield seizure. They could jump in, seize the airfield, then armor, things of that nature could come in next. They'd secure it. They'd start landing planes, and they once again could make it a fortified base. That could lead to an absolute disaster, because then the Taliban would start shooting at them. They would start trying to engage them again and all that stuff. Sending in troops, I do not think is a good idea at all. Not even a little bit. In fact, I think it's a terrible idea. We did it for 20 years. Clearly didn't work that well. Not sure why we'd want to do it again. At the end of the day, we left. And that's not to diminish all the people who served over there. Not even a little bit. They did their jobs as they were asked of them. Don't blame them. Don't blame the people in the military. It wasn't their fault. It was the people who were making the decisions at the political level and in the White House over multiple administrations. Again, I'm not here to get political with you about this. So we should not be putting U.S. blood at risk in Afghanistan ever again. Now, if we can strike some kind of deal where they give the base back, essentially sell the base back, but we don't have to maybe give them money. We can give them food, oil, fuel, other resources they might want, whatever it might be. Well, then that's a conversation to be had. What we definitely don't need to be doing is having Abrams tanks rolling down the streets of Kabul. No, we did it once. There's no appetite for that. The American public doesn't want that. Not even a little bit. So I got split feelings on it. We need to know what the Chinese are doing. As I've said too many times to count, China is the biggest threat for our domination on the globe there is. The drug cartels represent an imminent threat to life and safety of our people. China represents a direct threat to our power and our ability to project power. We need to know what the Chinese are doing. We need to know what China's capabilities are. And we need to posture ourselves in a way that deters them from doing anything stupid. So I don't have a good answer for you. I wish I did, but I really don't. It will be interesting to see how this plan plays out, though. I'll be fascinated by that. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the United States should go take the airbase back? Should we use troops to do it? Should we negotiate with them? What should we do? Let me know in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys absolutely nothing. Hit the notifications bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. DMs are open. Send me any tips you got. I'll see you all.